They came from the far reaches of the galaxy, drawn by an anomaly no other species had noticed. From their vantage point, Earth was a bright blue jewel in the darkness of space, but it was the shadows that called to them. The deep crevices beneath oceans, the endless caves burrowing through continents, and the intangible places where light failed to reach. Sensors picked up faint fluctuations, strange energy signatures unlike any natural phenomenon recorded before. The alien scouts, experts in stealth and reconnaissance, slipped through the atmosphere, their craft cloaked by advanced technology. But as they approached, the shadows seemed to resist their instruments, distorting signals, scrambling readings. They discovered a network of hidden chambers beneath Earth's surface, vast caverns intertwined with strange geometries that defied their understanding of physics. This was no ordinary planet. Something about the darkness itself pulsed with life, or at least with power. They observed humans nearby, moving with a peculiar awareness of these shadowed places. Not fear, but an almost intimate familiarity. Humans slipped through these zones like they belonged there, their steps light, their movements deliberate. One human paused in the half-light, seeming to blend with the darkness rather than disrupt it. The aliens watched, fascinated. A flicker, a shift, and suddenly that person vanished. No signal, no trace. The scouts scrambled to recalibrate sensors, but the human had simply stepped into the shadows and disappeared. They found other humans performing inexplicable feats. A group stood near an abandoned mining shaft, communicating without sound or technology. Their gestures were subtle, but shadows around them shifted and danced, almost as if alive, echoing silent messages. When threatened by a sudden cave-in, one human reached into the darkened void, and shadows curved protectively, halting debris midair, buying precious moments. The aliens' instruments failed to detect any advanced technology at work. This was biological, intrinsic. The scouts documented everything, their reports filled with confusion and awe. This was not the simple species they had expected. Earth's humans were more than surface dwellers. They were something deeper, something tied to dimensions beyond known space. The shadows that cloaked their world were not mere absences of light, but gateways to something hidden, something powerful. They tried to communicate, sending signals and messages, but humans responded with no technology, only presence and a calm that unsettled the invaders. The scouts realized the humans controlled the shadows, not through machines, but through will, an instinctive mastery that no other species possessed. It was as if the dark was woven into their very being, a second nature. The first contact ended abruptly when one scout witnessed a human vanish again. This time, the human reappeared miles away, as if they had stepped through a hidden passage in space itself. Attempts to follow were futile. The shadows closed around the scout sensors, erasing all traces. The aliens retreated, their minds buzzing with uncertainty. They had uncovered a secret not meant to be found so easily. Back aboard their mothership, the leaders debated. Were humans dangerous, or were they a species that had simply evolved in ways no one could predict? The shadows of Earth held secrets that could rewrite the rules of galactic power. The scouts reported that humans were not only surviving in the shadows, they were thriving, bending reality itself in ways impossible to replicate. They underestimated humanity at their peril. What was hidden in those dark spaces was more than mere survival. It was an untapped force waiting to be revealed, a secret dimension that humans moved through with ease. The aliens faced a stark realization. The shadows were not just a refuge for humans, but a domain where their true power resided, silently waiting in the dark. The shadow dimension was no myth or metaphor. It was a tangible layer of reality accessible only to humans. Unlike other species, humans had evolved a unique ability to interact with the unseen fabric that wove through shadows. Where others saw only darkness, humans perceived a hidden world, a parallel plane intertwined with their own. Scientists among the alien observers struggled to comprehend the phenomenon. The shadows were not empty voids but gateways, thin veils between dimensions that humans could cross. This dimension was fluid, mutable, and resistant to conventional technology. Attempts to scan or probe it failed repeatedly, as if the shadows themselves rejected alien interference. Humans moved through these shadowed corridors effortlessly, slipping from one place to another without being detected. It was not teleportation by technology but a natural, almost instinctive navigation of dimensional folds. Some humans used this ability defensively, disappearing into shadows to evade capture or danger. Others used it to communicate silently, weaving messages through subtle manipulations of shadow shapes and patterns. The energy harnessed from this dimension was unlike any known power source. It responded to human emotion, willpower, and intent, making it unpredictable but incredibly potent. A frightened human could cause shadows to thicken and obscure vision, while a determined individual might command them to stretch and shield. This bond between humans and shadows was symbiotic. The shadows enhanced human survival, and humans gave the shadows purpose and direction. One recorded incident stood out among the aliens' reports. A small human settlement was attacked by a hostile force, vastly superior in firepower. Outnumbered and outgunned, the humans retreated into the surrounding caverns. As pursuers closed in, the humans vanished into the darkness. The attackers found themselves trapped in a maze of shifting shadows, walls moving and twisting as if alive. Escape was impossible, and one by one, they succumbed to exhaustion and confusion. When the humans re-emerged, they did so unscathed, having used the shadow dimension as both shield and weapon. To the aliens, this was incomprehensible, a force not bound by technology or brute strength but by something far deeper. The realization dawned that humans had adapted not just physically, but metaphysically, to survive in a harsh universe by mastering a realm hidden to all others. Despite numerous attempts, alien scientists failed to replicate this ability. Their instruments could neither measure nor mimic the subtle interplay of light, dark, and human consciousness that shaped the shadow dimension. They theorized that this power might be an evolutionary quirk, a latent trait that had developed on Earth due to unique environmental pressures or genetic mutation. Yet, it was more than mutation. It was a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. Where others might have succumbed to the dangers lurking in the dark, humans had learned to harness and thrive within it. Their shadow mastery was not a weapon in the traditional sense but an extension of their will, a living proof that humanity could bend even the most elusive forces of nature to their advantage. The aliens' respect grew with each revelation. Humans were no longer just a curious anomaly. They were a species evolved beyond simple biology, capable of manipulating dimensions in ways the galaxy had never seen. The shadows were no longer merely a place to hide. They were a domain where humans reigned supreme, quietly rewriting the rules of existence. Word spread quickly across the galaxy. Earth was no longer just a backwater planet teeming with primitive life but a source of a hidden, formidable power. The revelation that humans commanded a dimension beyond normal perception rattled the established order. Galactic powers convened, their debates teetering between fear and fascination. The Galactic Council, an assembly of the oldest and most advanced civilizations, viewed humanity through a new lens. Some saw a dangerous wildcard, a species that could upset the delicate balance of power with abilities no one fully understood. Others saw opportunity, a chance to learn and perhaps ally with a species capable of harnessing shadows, a resource none had ever controlled. An envoy was dispatched to Earth, a delegation of diplomats and scientists eager to make contact and assess the true extent of human capabilities. But the meeting was far from what the Council expected. The humans greeted the delegation with calm confidence. There were no grand technological displays, no overt shows of force, only an unshakable presence. The shadows around the meeting hall shifted subtly, wrapping and weaving as if alive, responding to human emotion and intent. When negotiations began, it quickly became clear that humans communicated on levels beyond words and technology. The shadow dimension was a living language, a silent dialogue of power and understanding. Attempts to probe or manipulate it by the aliens were met with subtle resistance, as if the humans themselves guarded their secret fiercely. One moment defined the encounter. An alien representative, skeptical and dismissive, tried to assert dominance through technological means, deploying devices meant to expose hidden threats. The shadows responded instantly. They thickened, enveloping the room, and the devices failed, blinded by an unseen force. The humans stood firm, unthreatened, their control over the shadows undeniable. Respect replaced skepticism. The council realized that humans were not merely survivors but masters of a hidden realm, wielding power with subtlety and grace. Their strength was not in overwhelming force but in the quiet manipulation of reality's fabric, a mastery that no weapon could match. Philosophers among the council pondered the implications. Were humans the galaxy's unpredictable wild card, capable of reshaping the future? Or were they destined to become leaders, guiding others through realms of existence yet unexplored? The questions hung heavy, but one truth was clear: Earth's shadows held a power that could no longer be ignored. This revelation shifted alliances and strategies. Some species sought to form alliances with humanity, eager to share knowledge and gain access to the shadow dimension. Others prepared defenses, wary of what they could not fully understand or control. Through it all, humans remained inscrutable. They neither boasted nor threatened, but their presence was commanding. Their mastery over the shadows was both a shield and a statement. Humanity had evolved beyond expectations, and the galaxy would have to reckon with their hidden dimensions. The meeting ended not with treaties or agreements, but with a mutual acknowledgement of power and potential. Humans had entered the galactic stage, not as mere participants but as forces of nature, their shadows stretching far beyond their world, touching the fate of all who watched from the stars. Humans did not keep their mastery over the shadow dimension locked away forever. As centuries passed, they refined their abilities, teaching new generations to navigate the unseen realms with greater precision and purpose. Shadows became more than survival tools. They grew into symbols of identity, strength, and unity. They were the silent language of a species that had learned to thrive where others feared to tread. This evolution did not go unnoticed. Some humans began sharing select knowledge with trusted allies beyond Earth, blending shadow mastery with emerging technology. Ships were designed to harness the subtle energies of darkness, allowing explorers to slip through space in ways that defied conventional physics. Entire expeditions ventured into uncharted sectors, using shadows to traverse vast distances instantly, entering realms untouched by light or known matter. The galaxy watched, a mixture of awe and apprehension rippling through its civilizations. Humans had become pioneers, not just of space, but of dimensions and realities layered beneath the surface of existence itself. Their ability to blend light and darkness, to walk between worlds, challenged long-held beliefs about the limits of life and power. Yet, with great power came great responsibility. Humans understood that their shadow abilities were fragile, dependent on balance and respect for the unknown. They guarded their secrets carefully, ensuring that misuse would not invite chaos or destruction. The shadows, after all, were as much a part of the human soul as their ambition and hope. The future stretched before humanity like an endless horizon of possibilities. Their footsteps in the dark corridors of the universe were just beginning. Where others saw only emptiness, humans saw opportunity, an invitation to explore not only space but the very essence of existence itself. Shadows became the bridge to new discoveries, new alliances, and new destinies. In the vast cosmic tapestry, humanity had carved a unique thread, one woven from light and darkness, mystery and mastery. They were no longer confined to Earth's surface or simple survival. They were explorers of the unseen, custodians of hidden dimensions, and harbingers of a new era. And as they stepped boldly into the future, the galaxy knew one thing for certain. The shadows were no longer places to fear. They were where humanity's true power lay, waiting to illuminate the cosmos in ways no one had ever imagined.